Welcome back to ManCity Matters. Man United hatch transfer plan as Man City star Rodri gives green light to summer move. Manchester United are waiting in the wings as Real Madrid eye up a move for World Cup winner Rodri, which could see the likes of Tchouameni consider their future. Manchester City star Rodri remains keen on a return to Madrid, and any potential move to the Bernabeu could see Manchester United profit. The Spanish midfielder was back to his best as he spearheaded his country's World Cup success, being named the best player 2 years after he won the same award at Euro 2024. Thoughtful, Rodri has been a pillar of City's success since joining in 2019, but only has 1 year left on his contract at the Etihad. He's firmly on Real Madrid's radar, and their president Florentino Perez has green-lighted his signing after initially being unsure, reports the Daily Mail. Those on the blue side of Manchester are wise to the fact that Rodri hasn't signed extended terms and have already spent a club record fee to land Elliot Anderson. They are now working on a deal for Lille midfielder Ayyoub Bouaddi, who impressed at the World Cup. If Real do secure a move for Rodri, then major names could leave the Bernabeu. Tchouameni has reportedly agreed a new contract extension, but opportunities in the Spanish capital could become limited, and United are keen on the Frenchman. They know the 26-year-old would come at a huge cost and command huge wages, but he would be a blockbuster signing. Midfield remains their priority area for the Red Devils, despite already adding Youri Tielemans and Andre Santos. Tchouameni's compatriot Eduardo Camavinga could also depart the Spanish capital if a move for Rodri does take shape, with a number of Premier League clubs tracking the situation. Camavinga has been considered by City themselves as well as London duo Chelsea and Arsenal. He is still only 23 but has amassed huge experience and can boast a CV that includes a Champions League success. Speaking before the World Cup final, Rodri told Diario AS, "Right now, as I said before the World Cup, I have a contract at my club and it will be something I want to settle when it ends." Quite important is the challenge of a final against Argentina. We have to think about this. Raising the level will help me make a decision. Obviously, I'm happy with the performance, but we're a little step away now from glory. Friday is a day to look forward to for Manchester City fans. Enzo Maresca has taken charge of his first training sessions as Manchester City manager this week. The City players who didn't go to the World Cup or who didn't have deep runs with their countries at the tournament, plus a plethora of Manchester City's young players, have begun their preseason this week. The preparations for the 2026-27 season are now well and truly underway for the FA Cup and Carabao Cup holders. This Friday will also see Enzo Maresca face the media for the first time as Manchester City's manager, which is an event to look forward to. Enzo Maresca will be unveiled to the media as Manchester City manager on Friday. Manchester City manager Enzo Maresca will face the media for the first time as City's manager on Friday. It is expected that Maresca will provide an update on the players who have trained this week, and he could also give a glimpse into his plans for his team. While it would be a major surprise if Maresca went into minute detail over his tactical style and philosophies, hopefully he provides a glimpse of what may lie ahead in this regard. While there have been clips of Enzo Maresca taking charge of Manchester City training this week, Friday will be the first real glimpse of him as City manager in a public forum. That is a moment in itself that does feel like essential viewing for Manchester City fans. It will be fascinating to see how Maresca performs in his first press conference as City manager. One thing that Enzo Maresca will not be in a press conference is Pep Guardiola. Guardiola was fascinating to listen to in press conferences with his larger-than-life personality and overall charisma. This Friday will see Maresca take center stage for the first time as Manchester City manager, and how he speaks and handles the occasion will be well worth watching. Enzo Maresca has long waited for the opportunity in front of him. He left his post as Chelsea manager last season due to Manchester City's interest in hiring him as Pep Guardiola's successor. This Friday will be Maresca's first press conference as City manager, and it will be the first of many that he will undertake. However, Friday's press conference will be essential viewing, as in a way it does represent the first public viewing of a new era at Manchester City. How revitalized Phil Foden is plotting his revival. Man City faith, Maresca motivation, clear benefit. Phil Foden took in Wimbledon and the British Grand Prix this month, but now he's ready to serve up a successful season with Manchester City as the checkered flag on the new Premier League campaign hones into view. The 26-year-old has penned a 4-year deal with the option of a further 12 months and is itching to get going under new boss Enzo Maresca. The pair worked together during the Italians' previous stint at the Etihad when Maresca was Guardiola's assistant during the treble-winning season. Foden has a huge amount of respect for his new manager, and in the 2022-23 campaign spent time working on his finishing with the former Chelsea boss during extra sessions. Foden played a key role for City that season and kicked on again the following campaign to inspire the Blues to a 4th successive title and earn himself a slew of individual awards. He hasn't hit those heights since, despite a purple patch of form early last term, but has returned from a summer off refreshed and ready to go. Foden was left out of the England squad for the World Cup, and MEN sources say he's returned to training this week in top condition and excited to reunite with Maresca. The hope at City is that the extended break, his first summer off in 3 years having played in the FIFA Club World Cup last season and the European Championships the year before that, and the certainty over his future, along with the belief the club and manager have in his ability, will help him rediscover his best form. The boyhood Blues still managed 10 goals last season, but they all came before Christmas, and he found regular starts harder to come by under Pep Guardiola in the second half of the campaign. Foden will now have a full pre-season with City and the chance to nail down a starting spot in Maresca's first 11, particularly with so many of the Blues World Cup contingent only returning on the eve of the new campaign. And Foden himself is confident the new dawn at City will be a successful one with Maresca leading the charge. Very exciting, he said of the Maresca era. You can tell by the first few sessions that I've done with him. The way he likes to play out from the back and play a lot of possession-based, and it suits my game really well. I'm looking forward to that, and hopefully it can help my game go to the next stage. Obviously, I've had Enzo before. When we had him in the treble season, he was brilliant. His attention to detail, the small things that make a big difference, and even training with him at the moment, you can tell how good of a coach he is. I'm really excited to play under him and see where it goes. He's so nice. He's down to earth. He's someone that you can go to and talk about anything to him and he would help you out. Foden will be one of the more experienced heads in the City dressing room next season, and is comfortably the longest-serving player at the club, having arrived as a 9-year-old. The likes of Bernardo Silva and John Stones moved on this summer, following a raft of experienced players to have departed in recent years. But plenty of talent has arrived, and City showed last season that they can challenge on all fronts, having won both domestic cups and run Arsenal close in the Premier League title race. Foden is relishing the role of mentor and is confident the future is bright at the Etihad. It's got a really good mix of young, fresh legs and a bit of experience, and players that have won a lot of things, and players that maybe haven't, he said of the City squad. But I think that balance is so good to have, and hopefully we can keep pushing each other in training to get better and fight for titles, and that's the aim. That's the team we want to be, competing for every trophy we can. Man City to seal Ayyoub Bouaddi deal at cut price fee as clincher revealed. Manchester City may be able to sign Lille midfielder Ayyoub Bouaddi for less than their £85 million asking price in the coming weeks. That is according to former Everton chief executive Keith Wyness, speaking exclusively to Football Insider, who believes that the citizens are taking a calculated gamble with their pursuit of the 18-year-old. Bouaddi starred for Morocco at this summer's World Cup and has recently been subject to interest from several of Europe's elite clubs. Wyness believes that City may be able to negotiate with Lille, and do a deal at a lower fee than their current asking price, provided they agree to loan the player back for next season. The French outfit are keen to keep the starlet for one more season, as they look to fight at the top end of Ligue 1 again next term. Bouaddi has already made over 60 appearances in the French top flight and has established himself as one of the brightest emerging talents in world football. Man City have clear clincher for Ayyoub Bouaddi deal. Everton's former chief Wyness, who served as CEO at Goodison Park between 2004 and 2009, and now runs a football consultancy advising elite clubs, believes that a loan-back agreement will be the clincher for City in their pursuit. The Scottish businessman made it clear that Lille could be tempted into a sale if City get close to their £85 million valuation, and also sanction a loan back. In this case, I think it's an educated gamble, and I can understand what City are doing, he said. I think that while they were sticking for a higher price, I think Lille may settle lower, but I do expect the player to get loaned back there for another season, which I think would be the clincher. It would allow them to let him develop that bit more in his present environment, which I think is doing well for him. He's a talent, there's no doubt about the kid, and he's done it consistently at Lille. I think it's certainly a gamble, but I don't think it's based on the World Cup form. I think they've been tracking him for a long time. I think that City will do well to get him, but I expect it to get done lower than the £85 million, but with a loan back to Lille. Man City insider suggests spending is out of control. Former Man City financial advisor Stefan Borson told Football Insider last weekend that City's spending has been extraordinary as they line up a move for Bouaddi after their deal to sign Elliot Anderson. The football finance expert suggested that his former club's spending could even be deemed to be out of control if they get Bouaddi over the line. Borson outlined that Bouaddi would be a much higher risk signing for City than Anderson, and made it clear that City would need him to become one of the best players in the world. A move for the 18-year-old would raise plenty of eyebrows away from the Etihad Stadium, despite a World Cup that turned him into a star. Thanks for watching.